You ever miss out on buying a vehicle because it says back tags, back fees, registration fees, particularly in California? This is the only place I've ever done this. So take that with a grain of salt. I don't know how this works in all the other states. I live here in Missouri now. Couldn't tell you how this works. But in California, if you purchase a vehicle that has back tags and back fees and stuff, and it's had those accrued before you purchase the vehicle, you don't have to pay those back tags. You walk into the DMV, make sure you have all your ducks in a row. You're gonna need two particular pieces of paper. REG 227, which is basically a lost title, a new title, application for title, such and such to put the vehicle in your name. Front and back, fill it out, all of it. Then you're also gonna need a REG 256. This is a statement of facts paper. I'm gonna fill out the top, and I'll show you that right here as I'm going through this, what the pages look like. Now fill that out and tell your story. The second page, bottom half, is completely blank for you to write your story and what you know from when you purchased the vehicle. So you write, I didn't know it didn't have any fees. It didn't have a license plate on it. The guy didn't tell me, you know what I mean? Let them write on the paper for whatever reason that you didn't know. So what you do is you go into the DMV with all your ducks in a row, both of those pages fill all the way out, because even the goons that work at the front counter aren't going to know this, and they're not going to be helpful, and they're just going to go because they don't care. So what you're going to do is tell them, hey, I've got this, I bought this. And when they tell you that the registration, the back fees are X amount of dollars, say, well, I don't want to pay those. I don't have to pay those. They're going to argue with you, say, yes, you can. Then just ask for a manager. Then pull out your phone and you can show the manager. Be like, hey, I know I have to pay these because right here you go on Google and type in California DMV fee waiver. First thing that's going to pop up is the little section of the AI and whatever it has to say. The first page, however, is going to be this. The DMV website, and it says fee waivers and or penalties, fees removed, waived, 3.080. Click on that. Then just scroll down to the very first little section, and here we go. On the DMV website, you're going to show the manager right there. What's right here? Penalties may be waived upon payment of the registration fees due when a transferee applies for a transfer and it is determined that the registration penalties occurred prior to the transferee's purchase of the vehicle. So therefore it states right there, prior to the transferee's date of purchase and the transferee was not aware. So all you write on your statement of facts paper is, I was not aware that there were back fees. How am I supposed to know if I wasn't told? There's no registration, there's whatever. You're going to have a list of your laundry list of all the different reasons on your paper. But let you be known that when you do this, one of two things is going to happen. You're going to have to pay whatever registration fees that have followed that vehicle since it's been passed that are federally attached to that vehicle. Those you're going to have to pay. The California ones, not a big deal. They should pass them off. But you're going to have to pay that right then and there. And I use this as an example. I bought a 240 SX from a friend of mine, a Nissan, and it had 7, 8, 9, I don't know how many years, but it had $2,500, $2,600 of back registration fees attached to it. When I got it, I'm not paying $2,700 for just, a $1,500 car. Like, well, you're going to have to pay them. So I was like, okay, well, I'll be back. So I went on their website, found this. I even called the Sacramento office to see if this was right. And they said, yeah. And the DMV will have to basically process it and go through with it as you've explained it. Now, like I said, one of two things is going to happen. The manager at that local DMV is either just going to push it through and you're going to have to pay it right then and there. So if it was $2,000, but then they're like, okay, well, I've got them through, you're going to have to pay $1,100 or $700 or whatever. You need to be prepared to pay that right then and there and be done with it. You'll walk out of there with tags, your registration, everything ready to go. Or they're going to send your case off to Sacramento, which usually you will still have to pay the fees, but it'll be the reduced fees. But Sacramento will get back to you and say, oh, well, it looks like you do owe these fees or you don't owe these fees. Sacramento not once has ever gotten back to me in the 15, 16 years that I've been doing this and buying older cars I'm flipping them because people accrue the back fees, which you don't have to pay. And that's not the only way that you can get around paying back fees, but it clearly says right here on the California DMV website, penalties may be waived. That's all you need to know. So when the first person at the desk says, well, you can't have them waived, it says on their website. The more you know, the better. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe, click, like. Let me know if you've done this. Let me know if you've purchased something that has all these back tags and now you've watched this video and now you've went and got them and something's worked. Let me know how it goes.